Good morning, people. Today is a sad day. I'm in mourning for the demise of my favourite peanut butter. Sanitarium, as of a week or two ago, ceased all their peanut butter production in Australia. My favourite peanut butter, the only one I use, was Sanitarium Natural Crunchy. It was far and away the best peanut butter I've ever eaten, and I've been eating it for decades. 30, 40 years I've been eating that. Gone forever, never to return. My favourite peanut butter. I'd have it for lunch every second day. Gone. The hell is wrong with this world? Was a permanent fixture in supermarkets for 40 years. Gone. Why? Because my fellow Australians have got no taste and they didn't buy it. It was the best and they didn't buy it. It wasn't even dear. Sadly, most of my fellow Australians didn't even like natural peanut butter at all. They want the emulsifier in it. They want the sugar in it. They want the humectant in it. They want it. All those revolting peanut butters that I can't stand. The Kraft, the Eater, I can't remember all the names. Skippy, whatever. I can't remember the names. Garbage, in my opinion, garbage, but my fellow Australians preferred that shit. And I was happy to keep buying Sanitarium, even though it was on the bottom shelf and hard to find sometimes, but I kept buying it because it was the best. It's gone. I'm really upset about it. My lunch, my go-to lunch every second day. Not my only go-to lunch, but one of my go-to lunches was fresh bread or Martian toast with Sanitarium Natural Crunchy peanut butter on it. That was it. I had that a lot. Every second day, gone. I've tried the other stuff and it's just not as good. You can get other pure peanut butters with nothing but peanuts, but they're just not as good. I don't know what they do. They grind them differently, they roast them differently, they're not the same. Sanitarium just did it really, really well. You know, the grind was just right. The roasting was just right. Wasn't over roasted, wasn't under roasted, you know. The grind, it wasn't too fine, it wasn't too thick. It was perfect. Gone. My fellow Australians, those of you that eschewed the purchase of Sanitarium Naturals, you got no taste. Anyway, I'm in mourning. That's why I'm wearing black. So, today I'm making vegetable soup. If you remember my last video where I made the chicken pie, I saved the stock. Here it is. So I'm just going to strain it into a large stock pot. Strain out the fat, the chicken fat and little bits of meat or whatever. Strain it all out. Don't need that. This is a vegetable soup. Well, it's not. You know, I'm not a vegetarian, as you know, because I made chicken soup. So it's a vegetable soup, but it's not only vegetable. Obviously, it's got chicken stock, and it's going to have bacon in it. So, what we do is we take a cup of Lima beans. Now, there's no substitute for Lima beans, people. If you've never made soup with Lima beans before, they're the bomb for soup. They're fantastic. They start out this white, But once they've been cooking for a long time, they go transparent, and they've got a really special quality that you never get from any other bean. No other bean will do it. Fantastic. And just some brown lentils. A cup of brown lentils. So that lentils provide a lot of body. They make the body for the soup. So really both the beans make body for the soup. They're the essential thing. So, and I guess you could argue that the rest is just flavouring. So they provide the body. Well, I mean, that's not true. There's body from all kinds of things. There can be carrots, celery. You can't, in my opinion, make vegetable soup without celery. It's an essential. You've got to have it. Potatoes, of course. And I've got some veggie stock just to add some extra flavour. A little bit of chilli, just for the hell of it. So I'm just going to take a quick picture of these beans before I put them in, before I put them on to boil. Oh, better turn on the heat, I guess. Let's just have a closer look at these beans. You see the lentils and the large white Lima beans. You might have to look quite hard to find Lima beans. Like is the case with a lot of traditional raw foods. The arsehole supermarkets, I'm looking at you Woolworths, Coles, the arsehole supermarkets simply don't stock the things that they used to always stock. Once upon a time, all of the fundamental foods would be stocked. I'm talking split peas. Like a lot of the time you can't even buy green split peas anymore. I'm talking Lima beans, chickpeas, I'm talking oatmeal. There was a long period where you couldn't buy wholemeal flour, for fuck's sake. Supermarkets, arseholes. They abrogate their responsibility. They don't understand, supermarkets don't understand that they have a responsibility not only to make money for their shareholders and not only to keep the company going, but they have a responsibility to provide Australians with at least the fundamentals. You don't have to devote huge amounts of shelf space to it, but you have a responsibility to at least have one product of all the basics, all the basic raw foods. It's your responsibility. I don't care if it makes a tiny loss. Do it. Stock all the basics, even if you put them on the bottom shelf, even if you don't promote them, you don't provide specials, whatever. You've got a responsibility to stock them, at least to some extent. I mean, look at the amount of shelf space that is wasted on garbage. Absolute garbage. Take one walk down a stupid bloody soft drink aisle, for example. Look at how many different brands of toothpaste there are. How many different brands of shampoo. It's an absolute joke. And you can't stock Lima beans. Something you can actually eat. You can't eat shampoo. You don't stock oatmeal, but you stock 150 different varieties of muesli bars. Ridiculous. So don't tell me, Coles and Woolworths IGA, don't tell me that we can't afford the shelf space. Don't tell me, because it's bullshit. Alright. I'm cooking those pulses for 20 minutes. And actually, alright, rant over for the moment. So I'm just going to do some chopping. So I'm going to chop up some carrots. I mean, I suppose I should have done my rant while I was chopping. I suppose I should have. Anyway, I want to cut these vegetables. I'm not vitamizing this soup, so the vegetables need to be cut up not too big. So I like about Just roughly 1/2 inch dice, you know. Doesn't have to be exact, but doesn't want to be too big. And it doesn't need to be too small either. So basically split the carrots in half and in half again, and then just about roughly 1 centimetre dice. So I had a comment. I don't get many comments, so if you want to comment, go ahead and comment. I don't even moderate the comments, so you can say whatever you like. I did get a comment suggesting I edit this stuff down. You know, I could use much more tightly edited videos. And I can see why he said that. I think that was after the chicken pie was a bit of a marathon. I will admit it was a marathon. What was it? An hour and 10 minutes or something? Anyway, I'm sure there weren't many people that watched the whole thing. You know, that's fine. People can do what they like. I know what it's like surfing YouTube. I do it myself all the time. You start looking at something, you go, oh, I wonder what that's like. And after about, if it's garbage, if it's something you're just not interested in, after 30 seconds you're going to turn it off. And that's normal. Like half people will be gone in 30 seconds. And then, if it's a bit more interesting than that, you'll keep watching. But usually it's got to really speak to you in order to watch more than, you know, 5 minutes. You've got to really like it. Which, you know, most of the time you probably don't like things that much. So, I mean, yeah, if I could be bothered, I could devote a lot of time and effort to editing my videos, but it's so difficult. What would I edit out? You know, I'd edit out this rant, edit out where I'm chopping the carrots, but you know, halfway through chopping the carrots I might say something interesting. Too difficult guys. So if you're bored, just skip to the next section. Like I do go to the trouble of putting in chapters in my videos, so if you're bored with me talking about one thing, just skip across. You know, you can see where the next section starts on the timeline, just go there. Or if you're bored with the whole thing, you go, I just want to know what it tasted like, you can skip right to the end. So, you know, I recommend you do that if you're bored. My hope is that some people might be interested in some of the things I say, you know, as well as just the cooking. I mean, this is not just a cooking show. There's a million just plain cooking shows, you know. I can't be bothered. I don't want to be like that. So if you expect me to be plain cooking show, you know, bang, 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 here's the ingredients, I put them together, bang, 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 here's what it tastes like, here's what it looks like, bang, 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 job done, all over in 10 minutes. No, that's not me. If you want that, you can go somewhere else. Hopefully I provide a different type of content. There's still the cooking, there's still the eating, you can jump straight to the end and see the eating. But there's something else as well. So if you like that, stick with me, subscribe. If you don't like that, well, go look at something else. Anyway, I'm just going to give that another quarter of an hour and I'll be back. Alright, that's been another quarter of an hour. So the Lima beans have soaked up quite a lot of the stock. Have a look at how big those Lima beans are now. Big. And we're getting low on stock, so I'm going to add some water. turn it up a bit because it was boiling, but that was 20 minutes ago when it was last boiling. So we put these chopped carrots in. Like I said, about 400 grams of carrots. So quite a few carrots, and you do want to stir it from time to time because the beans can tend to stick to the bottom, depending on the timing and whatever, but they can. So it's a good idea to stir it. Alright, just let that come to the boil, and I'll dice up these spuds. So I've got about 400 grams of spuds. Again, I want about no more than half-inch dice, and possibly even a bit less. Just chopping out some of the bits I don't want. They're not terrible or anything, but just getting rid of the excess. I think I peeled a bit more than 400 grams, so I was counting on cutting them down a little bit. Spuds from the garden, not carrots from the garden though. I found growing carrots is not ideal in my garden. I think carrots they're not at their best in a clayey soil. Carrots like an open, well-drained soil, which mine isn't. My soil is very good for lots of things, but not the best for carrots. Like, I have grown carrots, have grown them in the past, but as I say, not ideal. So the carrots I grew, they tended to struggle to get length, and they tended to be a bit twisty, and yeah, they just didn't really grow. They didn't grow well, so I stopped trying to grow them. Also, the carrots need to be looked after. You know, they're easily crowded out by weeds, and you know, I'm basically lazy when it comes to gardening. I don't like to be out in the garden every day, or to tell the sad truth, not even every week. So I'm not what you call a really keen gardener. I used to be a lot keener than I am now. I'm basically these days spending a lot of time just doing computery things. Alright, I'll add the 400 grams of spuds. Now, of course, the great thing with soup is to make sure that you've cooked everything properly. Oh, we're going to want a bit more water. I like my soups to be quite thick, but there's a limit to how thick. In fact, I think maybe even a bit more. Alright, we'll go with that. Now I'm going to put in just 1 teaspoon of chilli. It's not compulsory. You don't need to put chilli in, not by any means. So completely optional. Alright, so I'm going to let that cook for another 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, basically until the potato is properly cooked, really cooked. So it'll be at least another quarter of an hour. And I'll come back then. Whoops, I was getting ahead of myself. In fact, it's too early to go away and wait for the potatoes to cook. I need to chop up the celery and add that before I get carried away. So, if you're going to make soup, veggie soup, you must have celery. The celery gives it a beautiful character. How would you describe the character of celery? I don't know. But celery, when it's cooked in soup, just always gives the soup this beautiful character. Fantastic. It's kind of like the Lima beans. Kind of like the Lima beans. Very hard to define exactly what it is, but it's just wonderful character. Which, not replaceable by anything else. So I've got somewhere between 400 and 500 grams of celery. Now just dicing it up to, what are they? Yeah, about 6 mil wide, something like that. I mean, it's the same kind of principle as the carrot and potato. Fine, but not too fine. So sort of a, what's that? Something that's easy, a size that's easy to eat. A size that's quick to cook. Not that it has to be quick to cook, but a size that's quick to cook and a size that's easy to eat. But big enough so it doesn't just turn into a pureed mess. Now, if I wanted a pureed veggie soup, I'd put it through the blender, but I don't want that. I don't want that for this soup. Like, I do a lot of pureed soups, but not this one. A lot of people take the string off the back of the celery. I can't be bothered. Wow. Certainly makes a lot of soup. A lot. So I'm going to have to get some more water on the boil, I think. I think this makes more than I was expecting. I haven't made this for years. Put the kettle on the boil. I'll get some veggie stock for extra flavour. Now, there's one veggie stock that's better than all the rest. Once you cook with it, you never go back to anything else. So about 1.5 dessert spoons. 1.5. It's fantastic veggie stock. but it's of course very salty, so you do need, don't put any actual salt in. Once you put this stuff in, don't put any actual salt in till you've got to the end and taste it. Taste it before you put any salt in. But anyway, really good. I've been using that stuff for years. It's great. You know, if you're a cook like me, and you've got taste buds, like I do, you can really taste things. It amazes me that other people don't seem to be able to taste things. Why couldn't people tell that the Sanitarium Natural Crunchy was the best peanut butter? Why couldn't they tell? They just don't care? Do they really think one peanut butter tastes the same as the next? I don't know. Why do people buy Veggie stock when you can buy that stuff, which is way better? You've only got to try it once and you'll go, well, that's way better, I'll buy that. You know? Same goes with pretty much all foods you buy. Some are just better than others. Like sometimes it doesn't matter, but a lot of the time it does. I don't know why some people have trouble telling. I mean, it's like music, isn't it? Why is it that some people can't tell good music from bad? I don't know, but they can't. No taste. Anyway, 3 rashers of bacon. This is the last thing that goes in. So I'm just going to dice these up, and I'm going to keep an eye on the soup. I'm going to stir it. I'm going to make sure it's not too thick, and I'm going to give it another quarter of an hour to make sure that the potatoes are properly cooked through and the carrots properly cooked through, and then I'll come back and I'll add this. So I'll be back then. The smell of veggie soup, fantastic. Just when I came back into this room after the time was up, just hit me. The smell just hit me. You know, that beautiful smell of veggie soup, fantastic, really good. I'll just give you a look at how things are looking. Why not? Let's have a look. Look at all those veggies. Got the Lima beans, the spuds, the lentils have swollen up, the carrots. Fantastic. All I've got to do now is add the bacon. I can't remember why I decided to add bacon to this dish, but I did. It must be good. Like I said, I actually haven't made this dish for, God, years and years. I'm not sure how many years, but it could be like 5 years since I last made it. But I remember I always liked it. It's always been good. So, there it is for the moment. So another 10 minutes just to make sure the bacon's cooked right through, and I'll be back to just adjust the seasoning and eat it. Alright, it's done. Now I tested the seasoning, didn't need to do anything, it seemed right. It was very hot, of course, boiling hot. So I took it off the stove 10 or 15 minutes ago. And I put some in the bowl so it can cool down so I can eat it better. Right, first I'm just going to show you what it looks like. There you go. See the Lima beans, the lentils, carrots, potato, bacon, celery, all in there. Fantastic. And here's the bowl. Which will be used for the thumbnail. Right. So, we made it. What does it taste like? There's so much flavour. Because I got the real chicken stock from the chicken. Got the good veggie stock, powdered veggie stock as well. Got all these veggies. Of course, the carrots are fantastic. They just melt in the mouth, you know. You've got the Lima beans and the lentils, giving it that essential character that you really need for a soup like this. Don't really taste the bacon directly. I think the flavour of the bacon kind of goes into the soup itself. Yep. And the chilli, you know, you like chilli or you don't, but I do like chilli. It's not overwhelmingly chilli, but just that little bit of bite, you just feel it in the back of the throat. It's not overwhelming, it's just nice. Don't really taste the potatoes. Damn, those carrots are nice. So sweet. But there's so much flavour in it. Like, I don't know if you're used to having soup that's not very nice. And this one's incredible. Richness of flavour. It's really good. Really good. I've just got a piece of Martian bread and butter. So this will be my lunch. If you want to, looks like it's going to be my lunch for a long time to come too. So if you're looking for a veggie soup recipe, you want to try something maybe a bit different to your normal way, try this recipe. It's really good.